Morning all. A few people jumping in. We'll just give it a couple of minutes to get started. I will, first of all, put my little banner up with an early treble. Got a few early games off today, so I'll chuck that in there. If you're in, let us know who's in, what you fancy, what games you're interested in. Predictions for today. Up the Oldham. Good luck against Ebbsfleet today, Luke. Pick for today. Under 2.5 goals in the Oldham and Ebbsfleet game. I did have a look at that this morning for you. Under 2.5. Both teams seem quite low scoring at the moment. Looked like possible 1-0, 2-0 Oldham, I think. Francis, how we doing? Good to see you, mate. Hold up. You edit that banner because I can't spell Newport properly. Save. Take that. Off we go. Where are we? Who else is in? We've got 9 people in. Don't sit there quietly. Get involved. Let us know who you are, where you're from, who you support, what games you're interested in. If you're having a bet today, let us know if there's anything you fancy anywhere in the world of sport today. This is the place to share it. Horses, darts, rugby. There must be plenty of people with expertise in all of those areas. So get stuck in, let us know. I'll go through all my AFL picks. At the bottom of the screen is an early treble. So the Spurs game kicks off at 12:30, but there's Oxford v Reading and there's Newport v Swindon as well. So there's 3 lunchtime games today to get stuck into. So I'll be having that little treble there to get started, try and get the day off to a flyer. We'll see how that goes in a moment. First game of the day, Everton v Spurs. So we might put a little bet builder together for Everton Spurs at lunchtime. We'll get people's thoughts. If you're in the chat, let us know what you might fancy in that game, and we'll put a little bet builder together for that. And I've got loads of AFL stuff. EFL Accas and the likes, which is what most people are here for. A little bit quieter this morning. Still not getting much traction on TikTok. Struggling to get my account back up to where it was so we can go live again. So slow process, which is why we're on the YouTube. But whilst you're here, if you're on the YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so you get all the podcasts. We have got a podcast out already with all of the Premier League picks, Premier League Accas, cards, treble, all of that sort of stuff is already on the podcast. So after this, you can go on the podcast. If you look in the description, there's chapters there all the time. So you can jump to whichever games you want, see what me and Malcolm fancy. And also you can jump to the end and we'll get the Accas and the cards treble that I've put out for this week as well. Francis is chucking out a horse. Good stuff, Francis. Pete, who might be in here or not, messaged me with a few horses today as well. I'll chuck them out in a bit. Horses aren't my thing. Any horse tips I mention on here are nothing to do with me and all to do with other people. Ellie Scott in, Greg's in, good to see you, mate. Burton v Lincoln didn't make my list of games. Let's see why, because I did look at the game. Sort of scroll through every game. I look at the form and the stats recent results for each team and just see if anything stands out. And I think in that one, there wasn't anything. But let's have a quick look. Lincoln away. I mean, obviously Lincoln favourites, but away from home. Let's have a look at it. See, I think looking at the Burton games, just quite a lot of low-scoring games was the thing that stood out for me. And similar with Lincoln, the last 4 have all gone under 2.5. 5 of the last 6 have gone under 2.5. And I just don't like tipping under 2 unders bets. But to be honest, if I had to have a pick on that game, that would be where I would go. Burton-Lincoln would be an under 2.5. Lincoln might nick it 1-0 or 1-1. Something like that might be a score. Morning, Michael. How we doing? Tom, good to see you. Kenzie has been listening to the podcast and says it's a great listen. Good stuff. One thing I'm really looking forward to, and I know a couple of people have been getting on it. Pete messaged me to ask a sort of staking plan for my corners ladder on the Fulham game. It was an angle I really liked in that game. Fulham v... Christ, I can't even remember who they're playing now. Burnley. Fulham away to Burnley. let's get the stats up. I'll tell you exactly why I've gone for this. I went for Fulham corners, and it's because they've got 15 corners against Everton through the week. They had 10 corners against Newcastle in the FA Cup game earlier than that, the week earlier. And when they last played Burnley, they had 8 corners against Burnley as well. They average 6 per game, and you can get 6 to 4 for them to get 6 here. So I've gone up the ladder, 6 or more, 7 or more, 8 or more, 9 or more. And how I play it and how you play it might be two different things. But for me, I chuck half, whatever I'm planning to stake on the corners, I'll put half of it on the initial bet. So let's say, for the sake of explaining it, it was £100. I would put £50 on the over 5.5 corners. That would return 125. So I'm profit. I'd then maybe put 25 on the next one, 15, 10, 5, and just build it up that way. So the stakes are coming down, the odds are going up, but then every corner is worth another 70 quid, 80 quid each time. So that's how I play it, but how you play it's entirely down to you. But I always try and have half of my total corners stake on that first one. So it's either like a break-even point or maybe it's a slight profit, but that's how I would play it. Tom, I didn't realise it was rubble. I know Tom always comments on the YouTube and says what a great effort it was. I don't... sometimes hard to link up who's in the chat on YouTube with who I know from TikTok and other areas, because everyone's got different names in different places. So now I know. That is good to know. 30 moves says he fancies Luton, Newcastle both to score. Funny enough, I've taken the same pick on the podcast this week. I took Newcastle to win and both teams to score, because I do think Newcastle will win today. But I think Luton have scored in 9 consecutive games now, I think. They've got good form for scoring. I think Newcastle will win the game, but I'm thinking like a 2-1, 3-1 or something like that. So, yeah, good. Pete, good to see you in, mate. Just been talking over those corners for today. I know you're interested in them. Kenzie's got Tottenham combined over 2 goals. Newcastle combined over 3 goals. Fulham 7 corners. From 7.31. It's not bad, that. Not bad at all. Pete, chuck your horse trebling. Yeah, I was just talking about horses a minute ago. I was just looking at it on my phone to see if it matched up with any of the ones Francis put one out earlier. But yeah, stick it on here and I'll share it on the screen, Pete. Francis Gallagher's going with Fabian Shaw. He's after the horse has bolted, he's going Fabian Shaw over 1.5 shots on target, 14 to 1. Not a bad shout. I mean, I think he had probably had 3 on target, because he definitely had a chance to get a hat trick. Can't remember if it was on target or if he put it wide now. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 2 on target the other day. And he has done it. He has done it once before this season. He had 2 on target against Dortmund earlier in the season. As I say, I've put my my acca up on the my early treble up on the screen there, just so people can get on that early if they want to do so. I've got a lot of other stuff. To be honest, I found the EFL hard today. There was a lot less stood out today than normal, but I'll put up what I'm going for. As always, I say, play it your way. You might look at me treble for team totals and the over 2.5, and you might like a bit of this and a bit of that. Just combine it your own way. Play it how you want. It's not important for you all to follow me exactly. But good to see lots of people in. There's some new names coming in. 30 moves like QPR Blackburn to be over 2.5 goals. David Caruso has been listening since 2022. Good stuff, David. Live, first time live watching from Australia. That's because we're normally recording live when you're all in bed. Whereas this live stream that I do on a Saturday morning, it's a bit different to the podcast, David. Just a bit of me telling you what I fancy for today. A lot of it being the lower league stuff as well. So it's just a chance to get in and kill an hour before the day's football starts and find out what everyone else fancies. Ellie Scott fancies Wrexham both teams to score. I've got the Wrexham game for overs, and I do fancy both teams to score in that one. Matt, I will put it on the screen in a second. I'll put all of my picks on in a moment. There's Pete's horses for today. Ryan, how we doing? Borough v Sunderland predictions. I hope they both lose. No, I think Borough's going to win. I'm going to take Borough. Sunderland, I know Sunderland won last week, but they're just in a bit of turmoil, aren't they, at the moment? It's only a matter of time before Beale gets the 9-10 jack, but we'll see. Matt Gaskell's asking if I'm going back on TikTok. I am on TikTok. I only have about 115 followers at the moment since I got booted off. So my TikTok account was booted, if you didn't know. I've got a new one, which is at Toonbars. Trying to build it up. It's a slow process, but I can't go live on there until I get to 800. Once we can get back there, I'll definitely be back on, but it's one of them where I've got to put the effort in to post more videos to try and get the followers and stuff. That's a bit of a hassle, to be honest, but I'll try. We'll try. Lloydo, yes, I'll put that on the screen. Richarlison shot on target with Bet365 as evens. Different maximum stakes to spend depending on who you are, but I have taken that. It's worth a go at evens. Definitely worth a punt. So I'll be on that. Right, I'm going to put my AFL stuff. Stockport to score 2 or more goals, 30 moves. Absolutely. You'll see my my picks in a moment for the AFL that I'm going to put on the screen, and it will include Stockport to definitely score 2 or more. Here we go. These are the stuff I have got for today. So let's take Lloydo's comment off the screen. There we go. I've got team totals: Stockport, Plymouth, Leyton Orient, all to score 2 or more. I've got a Winacker, Southampton, Derby, Leyton Orient, Peterborough, Stockport. Don't know why it says Stockport, but you get the point. Over 2.5 Acker. Got an over 3.5. It's a bit of a long shot. Those are the games where I think there'll be the most goals. It's League Two. There's always potential for a few of those League Two games to go a little bit nuts. So over 3.5. 16-1. Mansfield Notts. I mean, the Notts games are regularly going over 3.5s. Crew games can be good for goals as well. And Stockport, I think, they'll win well. Maybe the 3-1 or something. So good little long shot there, if anyone fancies that. I always like an over 1.5 goals bet. Done quite well with those this season. What have we got? 11 selections, I think, in there. So I've just named the home team in the over 1.5 goals, but those are the games I've gone for. And again, the early trebles on the screen as well. If anyone wants to have a little go early on. But more importantly, what do you fancy? Well, let us know what picks you've got. I'm sure you've got your own actors and your own thoughts on things. Leicester win today, 30 moves is asking. Tricky game for them. Away from home, Stoke are going okay. I think Leicester will win. I was thinking Stoke will get on a score sheet. Leicester will win 2-1, 3-1 was my thought. I didn't take Leicester as an outright win, though. I mean, Stoke have lost the last 2. They lost to Sunderland as well. But before that, they've been in a good, I'd say a good run in form. They hadn't been losing a lot of games. They had drawn a lot. It was 7 games unbeaten they were before the Stoke and Birmingham defeats. And that's what sort of put me off Leicester away from home a little bit. Leicester having lost their last away game against Coventry. Drew against Ipswich away recently. So, yeah, I think Leicester should win, though, let's be honest. Rubble is right. Newcastle, Luton, both to score and Newcastle win 15-8. That was my pick for the podcast. I do think there'll be a Newcastle win, but I can see Luton getting on the score sheet. Lloydo will chuck yours on the screen there. Brighton, Newcastle, Celtic, Southampton, Leverkusen, all to win 6-1. Don't trust Brighton at all at the minute. That's not to say they won't win. But they're not going on any of my coupons today after their 4-0 drubbing against Luton. 4-0 against Luton. Unbelievable. Problem, Brighton, as I say, that's 3 games in a row they failed to score. They were supposed to be one of the most attacking, exciting teams, and they've not scored for 3 games now. So yeah, I'm leaving Brighton well and truly off my coupon today. As I say, not to say that they won't win, but there we go. Anyone else got anything else? Anywhere else? Any other games? We'll put a little bet builder together on the Spurs Everton game as well. I think I'll bring up all the current stats for that one. We'll see where we're at. Fixtures. Michael Oliver refereeing, averaging 3.3 cards. Not really interested in much of that. We should have team lineups for that as well, actually, shouldn't we? Let's have a look. Spurs lineup: Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie. Full strength back four is back for them. Højbjerg, Bentancur, Madison, Johnson, Richarlison, Werner. Everton lineup: Pickford, Tarkowski, Mikolenko, Branthwaite, Godfrey, McNeil, Harrison, Young, Guehi, Brandt, Garner, Calvert-Lewin. I made a mess of that because they've got it all in. I hate it when they put them in numerical order, and then I try to put them in positional order, and I'm sure I've missed somebody off. I don't think there's any big surprises in that Everton lineup, to be honest. But yeah, we'll put a bet builder together on that in a moment. Michael's coming out with the obvious: Romero to be booked. I don't know if he's been booked since coming back from injury. Plenty since before then. Let's have a look at the bookings. Yeah, he's been a good boy. 3 games back and no yellow cards. 5 for the season. Kulusevski's been good for a card lately. 3 in his last 5 games. I won't get to watch much of the football today. I am taking my eldest daughter over to the Snow Dome in Tamworth for some skiing lessons. You'll be pleased to know I am not getting on any skis. A man of my shape should not be stood on skis. That's an accident waiting to happen. But yeah, my daughter's going away on a school trip skiing to Switzerland next week, so she's been doing some lessons. This is our final half day of skiing lessons, so I've got to go and sit in the Snow Dome for 3 hours. I will have my phone, my laptop, and I'll try and watch the Newcastle game on the phone whilst following all the AFL stuff on the laptop. Lloydo and Pete are currently debating the horse picks and countering each other. Southampton winning both to score. I fancy Southampton to win. Both to score. Let's have a quick look. It's not a pick I go to often, the both to score and picking a team to win. I have done it on the Newcastle game today, but it's very rare I go down that route. Let's look at it. Yeah. I mean, Rotherham have failed to score in quite a few games lately. Clean sheet. Stoke got a clean sheet. Fulham got a clean sheet. Leicester, West Brom, Birmingham. I'd say probably 5 of the last 10 games Rotherham have failed to score. So I don't know. Not sure. Yes, Shane, we're going to put a bet builder together in a minute. I'm going to fire up Bet365 now and see where we can go for a bet builder. Bet builder, people, there's 19 of you in here. Make sure you're all hitting the thumbs up on the stream when you get a chance. Hit the thumbs up for us. Make sure you're all following as well. I'm sure you all are. 20 people in now. So there should be 20 thumbs up when I come out of here at the end, at least. But let us know your thoughts on the Spurs Everton game. So do you like any shots on target, tackles, passes, fouls, cards, goals, corners, anything you want? and I'll pick the bits that I like the look of, and we'll put together a little bet builder. So let's chuck something out. If there's anything you fancy on that game, chuck it out there. I know exactly what Michael Hurst will fancy. Be all over the Jordan Pickford saves, I reckon. Emre, how we doing? Good to see you, mate. Most reliable, which one do I like the most here? Being honest, I always like my over 1.5 hackers, you know. In the lower leagues, there's certainly in League 2, there's a lot of goals. We've got 5 of them selections down in League 2. I really like the over 1.5 goals, but at the same time, Emery, it's 10-1 for a reason. I think it's about 9-1, actually. I maybe got that wrong, or it might have changed. But there's 10 picks, isn't there? There's always a potential for one to let you down. Otherwise, I would take the team total. Team totals. Lloydo's saying Maddison assist. What I'm going to do is go for a goal or assist. So we'll start off with Maddison goal or assist just to try and play it a little safer. Matt Gaskell's got Calvin, Werner, Richarlison shot on target and a Bentancur card. Right. Well, let's take one of them. Shots on target. What's Werner going to do for us? One Werner shot on target doubles our odds. So I'm going to chuck a Werner in for a shot on target. Let's have a look at some stats for tackles and things for this Spurs game. Pedro Porro has had at least 3 tackles in his last 5 games. So let's see. We'll chuck him in for 2. Porro 2 tackles. Let's see if there's 19 people in here. If anyone's got any thoughts at all on anything they fancy, shots, corners, goals, total goals, team goals, anything at all for this Everton game, let's try and get a bet builder. Yeah, Saxon, I've just chucked Porro 2 tackles in. Werner 2 shots. We've got Werner in for a shot on target. Might be a bit ambitious, that mightn't it? 2 shots does sound good as well. It's probably not going to push it up much further, but we'll. Actually, I'm going to take the Werner shot on target and just change it to 2 shots. I took Werner for shots last week. He's had 5 against Man United. He had 3 against Brentford. Didn't have any against Man City, but you can draw a line under that. But yeah, 2 shots for Werner looks all right. He's only had 1 shot on target in these 3 games so far. So I'll go with the 2 shots, Werner. Emery, I'll post all of this in the Telegram after I finish on here. I'll post that screenshot. Right, let's look at the Everton side of things for tackles. James Garner, 4, 6, 3, 4, 5. Good numbers there. Didn't make a tackle against Palace. Strange one. Right, let's look at tackles then for Garner. I bet he's not even here. He's not on the list. So we'll leave the Everton tackles out. How many goals are we thinking? Do you think Spurs get 2? Can you likes Guehi Cord? Dan's got Brennan Johnson, 2 shots on target. 9-2 on 365. It's not a bad shout, that. I'm going to put that one on the screen like that. Good shout. Guehi for a Cord. I was going to say he hasn't had one for a while, but he hasn't played for a while, has he? First game back. Gay's a good shout, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in his last 8 games or something. He's not been around for a while. Gay's a great shout. I'm chucking that in. I like it. Right. Got a 12 to 1 bet builder there. That Gay one chucked it right up. I'll share this on the screen in a bit. Bet builder I've got here then. James Maddison, score or assist. Porro over 1.5 tackles. Timo Werner over 1.5 shots. And Idrissa Gay to be booked at 12 to 1. Stake that now. What price is Gay for a card on his own? 5 to 2. That's not a bad shout. I love that one. Yeah, no, can you? I like it. Like it. Just looking at the stats there, he's not been around for ages, but when he was playing, he's got plenty of form. He played 24 minutes against Spurs in his last game and still got a card. He must have came off. I'm assuming he came off injured after 24 minutes in the last Spurs game, and he'd been carded in the first 24 minutes. So that's a good sign as well. Love it. I might take that as a single as well. Great shout. What Saxon got? Spurs to win. Matters and Richarlison shot on target. It's 13-4. Some good little boosts on 365 this morning. As I said before, the bet boost. Richarlison shot on targets evens. If you're on 365, take the evens for Richarlison. Have a shot on target. This is good value. They don't always hit, but at that price, you've got to have a go. Let's see if I can put that bet builder on the screen. There we go. I'll chuck that up there for a few minutes. 12 to 1, 4 selections. How hard can it be? Simple. I'm hoping I'll get to watch the first half of this one before I have to go out about 1 o'clock-ish. I'll leave that there for a couple more minutes, and I'll put the AFL stuff back on the screen in a bit as well. I'll stop on for another 10 minutes or something and jump off and sort out my life, deal with children, family. Just normally, Saturday I'm fairly free to just sit on the sofa and watch football all day. Not today. Can't complain. Like Pickford saves has been mentioned again. Let's see what the short price for 3 saves. Pickford 2 to 5. You got to get 3.5 saves for him to get you an even money shot. Team totals. Let's look at Everton's form for saves lately. Last few games, Everton saves, Pickford saves 5, 2, 5, 4, 3, 4, 6, 4. Gets 4 often enough, like. That is your bet builder, so I'll take that off. Take that off in a sec. And we'll pop that one back down for anyone popping in. I'm going to jump off here in 5 minutes and go. Maybe stick a couple of the horses on that have been chucked out here. And then I'm going to go make sure I've got all of these placed. I think I've done most of it this morning. Early treble. If anyone wants to get on the early games, build yourself a bankroll. There's your early treble. And then fire into the 3 o'clocks with a 9 to 2 winner in the back pocket, hopefully. See what happens. Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, we're back live on YouTube at the moment. because TikTok have binned me. Try and spread the word. Get more people on the YouTube. Get more people following us. More people listen to the podcast. And more people following the TikTok. So if I do get the TikTok back up, then I will start going live on there again. And it is good for getting more and more people involved on there. Over on YouTube, it's just the important people. All the diehard followers of the podcast will drop in here, which is good. But yeah, we need to build that TikTok up. Spread the word. Make sure you're sharing things and liking things and thumbs up and all of that crap. It's a pain in the arse, social media. But don't like to keep begging people for likes and all that. But it's the only way you get things growing, you know. As I said before, the Premier League Gambling Podcast, latest episodes out. So all of the Premier League picks, if you've got any interest in all of the Premier League stuff for today, it's all on there. And you can easily jump to the picks for each game. Go to the description. Again, YouTube's being a pain. It used to put the chapters along the timeline at the bottom so you could just scroll along and see what games were. Now you can only do that if you've got 1,000 followers. I need another 300 on YouTube, so we've still got to keep growing YouTube as well. But the description, in the description, it has got the chapters, and you can click on whichever game you want. So you can jump. If you get there at 5 o'clock and there's a game going off, you can always jump to that and see what me and Malcolm fancy. Doing all right lately. Close on a few things. Close on a 40-1 treble on the cards this week. We had Polinia, Branthwaite, and then we needed Lamina against Man United to get a card, and he just didn't get near to making a tackle at any point or a foul at any point. So a bit disappointing. Shane fancied Richarlison to score or a card against the former club. Yeah, Richarlison. Forgetting about the whole Everton connection as well with Richarlison. That's a good shout. Can use chucking some horses up as well. Marlborough, 150 Leopardstown is the horse for today. Chuck that on there. Francis says over 2.5. I'm assuming we're talking about the Spurs game still there. I think so. Whether I think Spurs could get 3 themselves. Whether Everton can score is another matter. They're struggling at the minute. Anyway, for those who are in the Telegram, I will share all of this in there in a minute. Once I come off here, I'll share it. So people can get that. Still not quite sure what we're doing with the Telegram, to be honest. I post things in there, but you're never entirely sure how many people are listening. But then again, there's quite a lot of people who do message on there occasionally saying they're on stuff. So I'll keep firing stuff out on there. Can you cheers for jumping in? He's getting off now. Have a good day if you're having a bit. Good luck with it. I'm going to jump off as well in a moment. Make sure as you leave, you give the thumbs up on the YouTube feed. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're listening. Continue listening to the podcast. I'm sure you already listen to it. That's all of my stuff for today. I'll share it in the Telegram. I'm going to jump off. We've got that bet builder going as well. I'll pop that in there. If you're having a bet today, good luck. Enjoy your weekend. Catch up with us tomorrow night, 10 o'clock live. Will be the next podcast going out. So you can catch us on YouTube there. We'll be talking about, what are we talking about? FA Cup replays. And there's some AFL stuff, a bit of League One, League Two. Possibly a little bit of Championship. So whatever's happening midweek, we'll have some picks to put out and a bit of general chat. So catch up with us 10 o'clock tomorrow if you can do so. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Good luck if you're having a bet. And let's hope we can pick a few winners from this lot on the screen. I'll catch you all later. Cheers for everyone who's jumped in this morning. It is much appreciated. See you later.